Okay, we're live. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know when the stream got interrupted. I really apologize about that. Shoot. So it looks like it stopped right when I was doing the screen share and I was going into the 3 types of motivation. So let me just go ahead and do that. But for now, let me go back to the YouTube channel so I can display capture. Okay. Okay. Here we go. All right. Sorry. I'm not sure why my internet is so slow. There we go, part 2, so I can see the comments. There we go. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Sue, yes, I'm back. So I didn't even know that I got cut off. Sorry about that. I went back and saw the comments, and I saw people were saying that I was cut off. Okay, so anyways, let me go back, make sure I'm small here. There we go. All right. So this is what I really wanted to share before I started getting carried away in all these different tangents. It's called McClellan's social motivators. So this guy McClellan is saying that motivation is at the heart of successful volunteer leaders, but he's saying that there are 3 primary motivators: achievement, affiliation, and power and influence. And so there's this quiz that we took tonight that lets you know what your strongest motivator type is. And it's actually pretty interesting because it's not what you would think. It's not what I thought. Okay, so hopefully we're still streaming. Okay, just want to come back and make sure. All right, so I'm going to go through, and I would suggest, if you're watching this, to follow along and just mark which letter, which statement describes your preference most of the time. So I know that for me especially, as we go through this, I'll explain, it's difficult to pick sometimes, but you just got to pick what most closely describes your preference most of the time. There are no right or wrong answers. So just next to the number 1, 2, 3, there's 10 questions. So next to the number, write the letter that most closely describes your preference most of the time. And if you'd like to follow along to find out what your motivation type is. So number 1, A, when doing a job, I prefer to have specific goals. And I am that way. I'm very goal oriented. I like to have set specific goals, clear and specific goals. B, I prefer to work alone and am eager to be my own boss. Yeah? C, I seem to be uncomfortable when forced to work alone. No, right? Because I'm actually working alone now and I'm very comfortable with it. So it's between A and B. I picked B because that's what I'm doing now. I am working alone and I am my own boss. But it was between A and B, but I picked B just because that's what I'm doing now. Again, there are no right or wrong answers. Number 2, A, I go out of my way to make friends with new people. I wouldn't say I go out of my way, right? B, I enjoy a good debate. I enjoy a good conversation. I don't really like C, after starting a task, I am not comfortable until it is completed. Yes, 100% yes. Number is C for me. Because once I start a task, I don't even like to stop to break for lunch or anything like that, Number 3, A, I enjoy offering advice to others. Yeah, I guess. I mean, that's what I'm doing now, right? B, I prefer to work in a group. C, I get satisfaction from seeing tangible results from my work. Yes, absolutely yes. So number 3 is a C for me. Number 4, I work best when there is some challenge involved. Yes, right? Because if it's not challenging, it's not rewarding, right? Easy is not rewarding. B, I would rather give direction than take direction from someone else. Yeah, I guess. Like, if you're gonna put me in a corner, if I had to pick between the two, then I guess I'd rather give direction than take direction. But, I'm not really comfortable with either. C, I am sensitive to others, especially when they are mad. Yes. However, out of the 3, I picked A because I do work best when there is some challenge involved. 5, I like being able to influence decisions. B, I accept responsibility eagerly. C, I try to get personally involved with my superiors. And that's a no. I mean, even when I'm at my client's house, I don't even like to. Mindy, it's about dog grooming. He takes on dogs that hate dog grooming. Nice. So I don't even like to get chatty with my clients. I mean, if they want to have a conversation with me and they ask me questions, I mean, I'm all for it. I love having conversations with my clients, but I don't engage. I don't seek out the conversation. It's like I don't like to brown nose. I don't feel comfortable being a teacher's pet. So for me, that's not true. I try to get personally involved with my superiors. Nah. In fact, I kind of have an adverse response to authority. I accept responsibility eagerly. Not really. Even the PR position at my club, being the public relations officer, I kind of had to be pushed into this position. They pretty much told me, like, you're doing this, But I was like, I was like, oh, just pick someone else. I'll just help out. But anyways, I don't eagerly accept responsibility because I take it so seriously. And I think that's why I'm not a natural born leader, because I think natural born leaders, when you see them take leadership positions, they don't stress, they don't have all this pressure they put on themselves. But for me, it's like when I'm put in leadership positions, I tend to put like a lot of pressure on myself. I take it really seriously. Yeah, I don't take it lightly at all. And so that's why I don't eagerly accept responsibility. So I picked A. I like being able to influence decisions, because that's true. Number 6. Everybody likes to feel like they're being heard, right? Number 6. A. I place importance on my reputation or position. Not really, right? I don't really care. B. I have a desire to outperform others. Not really, In fact, even when I was a kid, I wouldn't even like to win at certain things because it would, I would feel bad for the other kid who lost, So, yeah, I don't have a desire to outperform others. I do have a desire to outperform myself, though. I'm always in competition with myself and always trying to be better than I used to be. I don't want people to say, June, he does groom dogs really well. But, man, you should have seen him a few years ago, when he was at his prime. I don't want people to say that, I want people to say, like, man, you should see June's grooms, man. It seems like he's getting better every year, C, I am concerned with being liked and accepted. That used to be so true for me. Oh my goodness, I would used to daydream. I would just seriously get lost in daydreams, just thinking about what it would feel like to be liked and accepted. To finally be liked and accepted by people. And that's why I think when this YouTube channel started to gain popularity, my ex and I started to have more and more arguments because, I didn't know how to handle it and I didn't know what it was like, But now, like I said in the previous stream before I got cut off, I'm grateful. Maybe not great. Maybe grateful's not the word. I'm able to appreciate going through the divorce and going through everything that I've been through now, because now I'm humbled, and I recognize that, relationships are complicated, people are complicated, and I'm not so self-righteous and judgmental anymore, because I really used to think that, it was selfish of a man to get a divorce, especially if he had kids, and so it was a real internal conflict for me. Even, like, I was like, man, maybe I'm a bad guy, because I'm getting a divorce, and good guys don't get divorced, and here I am getting a divorce. And it was really tough for me because I did place so much value on being liked and accepted. And I just being liked and accepted here was so important to me before. But now I'm okay with somebody not having the full story, not having my side of the story, and disliking me because of something that they heard. I feel like, okay, there's millions of people out there that I've never even met yet, right? Why am I going to waste my time trying to convince somebody who is set on disliking me? Why would I, like, I tell my daughters all the time too that some of their best friends that they're going to have the best time with, they haven't even met them yet, and that's true for me too at 39. So I just, I'm okay now with people not liking me or misunderstanding me. I'm okay with that. I don't feel the need to try to convince or persuade them in any way. And I'm also I feel free of the need for the good opinion of others. And not that I don't like and appreciate it. I really do. I love it, but I don't need it anymore. So, see, I would have to say that used to be me, but not anymore. So, number 6, I picked A, only because out of the 3, because I'm not concerned with being liked and accepted anymore. I do like being liked and accepted, but I'm not concerned. It doesn't concern me anymore. And I don't have a desire to outperform others or compete. So I picked A for number 6. 7. But even A, I wouldn't really. Anyways, 7. A, I enjoy and seek warm, friendly relationships. Absolutely. B, I attempt complete involvement in a project. I don't even know what that means. I want my ideas to predominate. No way. So, because for me, I'm almost always prefacing my ideas with I could be wrong. I could be wrong here, So I don't want my ideas to predominate. I like my ideas to be shared. I love sharing my ideas, but I'm always open to being wrong. So I picked A for 7. I enjoy and seek warm, friendly relationships. Number 8. I desire unique accomplishments. I guess so. B. It concerns me when I am being separated from others. Not really, because, even when I was kind of being ostracized, and just kind of being outcasted from grooming groups and stuff like that, I really didn't care, C. I have a desire to influence others. So I picked C, A and C, because obviously I do have a desire to influence others. It makes me feel good knowing that I can influence others. It's not that I go out and seek that. I don't seek opportunities to influence others or try to be a social influencer, but it's just, whenever I can or whenever someone lets me know that I had a positive impact on them, it makes me feel great. Number 9. A, I think about consoling and helping others. Absolutely, yes. B, I am verbally fluent and persuasive. No, which is why I joined Toastmasters, right? Because I got tired of stumbling and stuttering and stammering and saying inappropriate things because I get nervous. So that's not me yet. C, I am restless and innovative. Yeah, kind of. But I think number 9, A, resonated with me the most. I think about consoling and helping others because I really do. And when groomers contact me with problem and they want to talk, I take it very seriously. Let's see. Mindy says, any tips on trimming Shizu nails? I only have to do front dew claws. She's wiggly. My next chat stuff are stuffing up. Sorry. No, Mindy, it's cool. Let's see. I do have a video that I can share with you. Marilyn says, I like listening to him. Oh, nice. He is genuine. Oh, nice. What is his name? Oh, it's June the Groomer. Tell your friends. I would be his friend. Oh, nice, Marilyn. Are we Are we vibing here? Marilyn says, you're having a positive influence on me. Oh, nice. Maybe I should have said that a little less creepy. Anyways, so, but yeah, Mindy, I will, I'll show that video on this before I end this stream. Hopefully we're still live. Yes, we're still live. Okay, skip frames detected. Okay, we're still good. All right, so we're on number 9. Number 10. Hey, I set goals and think about how to attain them. Yeah, maybe not so much these days because, I've been kind of feeling depressed like everybody else, right? B, I think about ways to change people. Brown. But yeah, you're not, and the thing is, it's not my job to change people. And I think that's where a lot of problems come, is when we try to change people, and we try to get people to behave the way we want them to behave. Let people be who they want to be and behave the way they want to behave, and live how they want to live. So for me, I spend zero time thinking about ways to change people. I spend a lot of time thinking about how to help people. C, I think a lot about my feelings and the feelings of others. Yes, right? Because I explained in the stream just before this one, I spent 4 hours driving down from Tennessee thinking about why I wasn't upset with my ex when I would have been before and stuff like that. And like, what has changed in me? So I'm very introspective. I that's the thing though. That's what interests me though. It excites me to learn more about myself, to become more self-aware. So I picked C for number 10. I think a lot about my feelings and the feelings of others. Now, here is the Motivational Analysis Key. So for each question, mark your answer in space. For example, if your answer number 1 was B, put a mark on the line titled Influence. So, and then you would total the number for the marks for each category. So, number 1, I picked B, so that's power influence. Number 2, I picked C, which is achievement. Number 3, I picked C. Number 4, I picked A. Number 5, I picked A, which is power influence. Number 6, I picked A. 7, I picked A, which is affiliation. Number 8, I picked C, power influence. Number 9, A, which is affiliation. And number 10, I picked C, which is affiliation. So in my score, achievement, I got 3, power influence 4, affiliation 3. Kind of evenly spread out for me, 3, 4, 3. And I was kind of surprised that power influence was my strongest. That was 4. And so I'm primarily a power influencer, achiever, affiliator. But for me, honestly, I can kind of relate to all 3 areas almost equally, which is probably why my score results came out that way. Because feeling like, the sense of accomplishment, it does motivate me. Feeling like I have power and influence, it does influence, it motivates me as well. And feeling like I belong to a group, feeling like I'm a part of something, that it motivates me as well. So all 3, but it does make sense that affiliation might be on my lowest because, I do struggle with the sense of abandonment and stuff like that from childhood. So it is important to me, but I easily let things go and let people go. So it kind of makes sense that would be not my strongest. It would have to be between achievement and power influence was my strongest. Now here's the thing. Here's where the practical value comes. This is where he gives some characteristics of each type. And once you understand them, you can incorporate them into whatever, into your grooming shop. So here's the thing. If you have employees and you have them take the quiz and you find out that you're a bather or you're apprentice groomer, your junior groomer in your shop, or maybe even the receptionist. You find out that they're the achiever type, right? This is what they're thinking about: achieving goals, solving problems. How can I do things better? These are their strengths. Here's what they struggle with: delegation to others. May not want to give up personal involvement with tasks. I struggle with that as well. I am horrible at delegating to others. Management. Interested in doing well, not influencing others to do well. That's me. I'm a horrible manager, and I found that out when I started to hire employees. Process can be impatient, yeah. Value relationships and teams. So these are things, the perfectionism, that's a big one. So, oh, you know what? While I'm here, perfectionism, I have a really good, anyways, we'll bring it up later if it comes up. Here is a achiever at their worst. So this is why self-awareness is so important. If we're not aware of this, right, our weaknesses, not just our strengths here, but what our weaknesses are, if we're not aware of ourselves, then we can easily get lost in our worst behavior, right? They may display dictatorial behavior, must do things their way, block changes, rigid and flexible. And here's some recognition ideas. So if you do work with someone who is the achiever type, these are some things that you can do that will help them feel recognized and feel, like you. These are ways to keep them motivated, pretty much. If this is their motivation type, this is the way to keep them motivated. Communicate agenda prior to meetings. This makes them feel like they're kind of in the loop. Introduced to new people in terms, proudest accomplishments involved. These are things that you can do to, give them recognition. These are the best types of roles for them. So this is a lot of good information. If you're working with the affiliator type, right? This is the people who are all in their feelings. The interpersonal relationships. These are the snowflakes, right? This is the people at your shop where they want to make sure everybody's getting along. They want to talk about your day. They want to talk about your family. They want to tell you about their family. So if you have this type in your shop or in your team, someone you're working with, the affiliator type, these are some of the things that they struggle with. So you want to be careful. They are oversensitive, right? Because one of their strengths is their sensitivity, but that's also something they struggle with, is they're overly sensitive. And that, prevents them from being able to deal with conflict in a productive way because they're overly sensitive, right? They're not sensitive to time. They need a great deal of affirmation, which can be kind of burdensome sometimes, right? You have to all constantly be worried about how they're feeling and give them compliments, right? So these are things to be aware of when you're working with the affiliation type. And this is them at their best. They help build teams and accomplish goals. At their worst, they may display Pollyanna behavior, right? And so they pay too much attention to socialization, right? They don't get the work done. They lose. So this is something you want to be aware of. Recognition ideas, right? How to keep the affiliation type motivated and feel recognized. Give them information about how cooperative or helpful they are. Recognition should be given at a group event in presence of peers and family, right? So they get that affirmation. So these are take time out for coffee, attend a community event as a group, right? Just taking them out for some coffee, getting that one-on-one time with them, for them that means so much for the affiliation type, because the affiliator, that's what motivates them. Interpersonal relationships, feelings, right? So just by taking them out for a cup of coffee, even, these are practical things that you can do to publish recognition on a bulletin board. This is something that will help them feel recognized and keep them motivated. A possible clue is, still not sure if your volunteer is an affiliator. A possible clue: he or she has the biggest list of email addresses, phone numbers, and addresses. They always remember people's birthdays. That's the affiliator type. The power influencer. So if you have this type in your business, it could be a very good or very bad thing. It's just if how much awareness you have. If as long as you're aware of some of the things that they struggle with and how you can help them, and how they function best. When you understand what motivates the power influencer, now you can get them to really add value to your group. So let's see. We already know what they think about. They think about leading, right? They think about dominating. No, I was kidding. Their struggles: dominating, argumentative, outspoken, possibly intimidating to affiliators. At their worst, if this is not checked, right? If they go unchecked, they may use power in a personal manner, right? So I like that they have a picture of Barack Obama there, because the power influencer, this is the politician. They make great politicians. This is the type. Check this out. At their best, they exercise power for benefit of others to attain group goals, inspire others to action, create confidence in others, help them achieve goals, demonstrate clear vision for all to follow, understand that success results from people in power. And so, that's a politician right there, right? A senator or president. At their worst, they make groups dependent and submissive, exert personal dominance, right? This is power unchecked. Use personal power and authority, need prestige supplies, biggest desk, nicest office, newest car, right? Hang on to information. Information is power, right? They don't share information freely. Use people to get their own way. So that's the power influencer at their worst. So we need to be aware of that. Recognition ideas: how you can keep them motivated if you have the power influencer type working for you. Give them a promotion or a job title, give greater access to authority or information, include, so these are: give notes from supervisors, administration, and community leaders, appreciating impact and betterment of mankind, make time to listen to their ideas. That's a big one, right? Tape their speeches. Nice. Write a story in a newsletter telling of impact on people, giving them that recognition, right? So that's a possible clue. If you're dealing with a power influencer, he or she has an impressive recognition plaque on the wall. So that's what motivates them. So I just wanted to share that because I think it's very helpful to know. And hold on one second. I think I have no. There is this oh, you know what? It's in the other Google Drive. So let me switch. I have a really good handout that my mentor gave me about perfectionism versus excellence and why it's not good to be a perfectionist. I was trying to see if I can share that real quick. Okay, let me display capture. Let me stop sharing that. Catch up on some of these. Oh, shoot. Sorry. Okay. Learning how to use the internet here. Okay, here we go. Bear with me, guys. I'm sorry. All right. Let's see. Groom channel. Oh, Mindy, I'd love to know your thoughts on channel, but I know you're busy. I just think he has so much patience with these dogs. I'm a person who just likes to get it done. Nice, Mindy. And the thing is, that's actually not a bad thing. We kind of need that sometimes. Let's just go ahead and get this done. But hold on, let me see if I can find that handout so I can share with you. I think that's where I put it, under business plan. Business strategy. Okay, here it is. All right, so let me go ahead and screen share. Sorry, again. Apologize. Okay, there we go. This is going to be I mean, I don't know. In my opinion, it is worth it. It is worth your time because it's pretty good information. But I'll let you be the judge of this. Okay, so let me zoom in a little bit here. Oh, can I not zoom in? There we go. Okay. So, striving for excellence versus perfection. If we are to grow professionally, or personally and professionally, one healthy approach is to pursue excellence versus perfection. There is a big difference. Excellence is within reach, while perfection is not achievable. How many of us accomplish more, create a healthier environment around ourselves, and lead happier and more satisfying lives if we change our mindset to excellence versus perfection? Here are some illustrations and the differences. The person who is chasing perfection reaches for impossible goals, while the pursuer of excellence enjoys meeting high standards that are within her reach. The perfectionist bases his value of himself on his accomplishments. The person who pursues excellence values himself simply because of who he is. I really like that. Because we were just talking about the achiever type of motivation. It is good to be motivated by your accomplishments, but that's the perfectionist. They base their value of themselves on their accomplishments. So their value of themselves are their plaques on the wall, their certificates, But the person who pursues excellence values himself simply because of who he is. He's not better or worse than anyone. He's just himself. Number 3. The perfectionist is easily crushed by disappointment and is prone to throwing up her hands in surrender. The person who is seeking excellence may also be disappointed and hurt, but she does not let setbacks keep her from moving forward towards her goal. Number 4, the perfectionist sees failure as his enemy and lets it devastate him, while the pursuer of excellence seeks to learn from past mistakes so that he will be able to do better in the future. So they use their past mistakes, they use their past failures as a school, not a club, to beat themselves with, And that's Jim Rohn. I took that from. Number 5, the perfectionist is the type of person who tends to remember her mistakes and dwell on them. She thinks everyone else remembers them too. The person who is seeking excellence will do her best to correct her mistakes and learn from them, and then she will forget they ever occurred. Number 6, the perfectionist wants to be number 1 in everything and is happy only at the top. The pursuer of excellence is happy with himself as long as he knows he has tried hard as he can. He has tried as hard as he can. And that's the thing. You may get up to the top, but you may find that once you're up there, you're not even happy, right? Stephen Covey, he says, before scrambling up the ladder of success, make sure it's leaning against the right wall. Number 7, the perfectionist hates criticism and will go out of her way to avoid it. The person seeking excellence may not always enjoy hearing criticism, but she will welcome it in the sense that it will help her improve herself. It says himself, but it's a she. So anyways, grammatical error there. It will help her improve himself. Number 8, the perfectionist believes, and see, obviously this person is not a perfectionist who wrote this. Number 8, the perfectionist believes that winning is extremely important and has to win to maintain a healthy self-esteem. On the other hand, the pursuer of excellence can finish second and maintain his healthy self-image. I would even say they can finish third or fourth or fifth, and they would still maintain a healthy self-image because, again, they don't derive their value as a person from their accomplishments. They simply, get the value of themselves from within, from who they are. It's internal. It's intrinsic, right? So this is in conclusion. The perfectionist often has the feeling that if he can't be perfect, he won't even try. The pursuer of excellence is a risk taker who says, well, I may not do this well, but I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to give it a shot. The pursuer of excellence is the person who is constantly getting better, constantly growing, and always enjoying life. The perfectionist is missing out on a great deal that life has to offer. That was adapted from the book Growing Up Firstborn. So yeah, and that's. But isn't that okay? So that is the perfectionist versus excellence. Excellence is attainable. Perfectionism is not. Okay, so let me go ahead and. Oh, you know what? While we're here, let me go ahead and find that video for the nails. There we go. So, this is the video that I made for. I just kind of edited out a little clip of when I was doing nails on, I believe it was Harley. And no thanks. Okay, so how to cook the nails on a dog that bites like this. This is Perfect Dog Training. It's all about positioning. Understanding how the dog's body works, understanding how your body works, and understanding how to position yourself so that my elbow is now restricting him from coming at me this way. My body's restricting him from coming at me this way. So I've now controlled his upper body. All right, stop. Man, this guy talks so much. He talks like he thinks he knows something. You know what I'm saying? You don't know nothing. This is your dog. Shoot. Get to the front, nails. Behind him here. Chomp. I'm kidding. And then with this hand, I'm going to put it close to his body here. So it's like cradling him. And imagine him like a football, I guess. Like a little football. There we go. You don't want to crush it. But you don't want the defense, the other team to take him away either. There you go. Easy, right? Good boy. I make it look easy. But that's because I'm a professional. You know what I'm saying? Alright, piece of cake. Jedi, man. Okay, so I guess the jokes have not gotten any better. Oh man, still using the same old tired jokes. All right. So Mindy, hopefully you're still here. Hopefully we're still on. Oh my goodness, did it stop? Did I get interrupted again? Anyways, so hopefully that helped, Mindy. Basically, for me, I tell people you gotta visualize it. You gotta see it happening and see the dog calming down, and then because if you can't believe that the dog is gonna let you do it, then for some reason the dog feels that anxiety, that frustration that we're feeling, that feeling because we're projecting it out, this feeling that this dog is not going to cooperate with us. So imagine it happening. Imagine what it would feel like if this dog actually let you do it, right? Feel that feeling, right? See it happening. And then there's a change that happens in your body. With the way you're feeling, it literally changes. And then the dog can feel it, and then they settle down, and boom, it happens. And I know it sounds like voodoo, like hocus pocus stuff, that woo woo kind of talk, the whole conceive, believe, conceive, achieve. But it is true. They even tell soccer players, see the ball going into the goal, see it curving and cutting the way you want it to, or bending, bend it like Beckham. But see the ball going into the goal before you ever approach the ball to kick it. Same thing with the dogs. Mindy, imagine it happening. Imagine it going well. And feel what it would feel like, right? And then go into it and try it. Mindy says, yeah, she hates being restrained. It must be the aura a person has. Yeah, so true. Yeah, you just have to approach it like it's gonna happen, like you're expecting it to happen, and almost like you would be shocked if it didn't happen for you, like what in the world, I'm a Jedi Master. Why would you not, But it is true, because if you can't visualize it, if you can't see it happening, first in your mind and you can't believe it's going to happen, then it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. We make it come true. So speaking of, I have a new client tomorrow. It just kind of worked out that way. I had tomorrow open. So I was thinking maybe I'll take the day off, but then this gentleman, he's been asking very politely, and he's been very patient. And so I told him, hey, I had the day tomorrow. I have an opportunity. I have an opening. Do you want it? And he said yes. So I'm gonna be grooming a dog tomorrow, and he describes him as not really being comfortable with the grooming process either, and he's a young multi-poo. So tomorrow is gonna be a bit of a challenge for me, but that's why it's so rewarding as well. It's because I love I love walking into a challenging situation where dogs isn't really comfortable with the grooming, they're not behaving well, whatever it is, and being able to come up with a creative solution, for the problem. It's like solving a puzzle. And then when it actually works out, man, it feels so great. So that's why I think that the work that I do is so meaningful to me. And I think that I'm one of the lucky people who has found something that is meaningful because I'm listening to this book Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. I'm re-listening to it, and he's in the chapter again where he's talking about how um, you know getting paid, our paycheck isn't really what fulfills us. It's doing work that we feel is meaningful. That's really what is fulfilling to us. So if you're not doing work that's fulfilling to you, um, I think my advice would be, because I did so many jobs that I just hated, and I would hate going into work. I would literally get sick sometimes, physically sick, and I just couldn't go into work. And I remember one time I was sitting in a sales meeting at the used car dealership I was working at, and I was overweight. I was smoking several packs of cigarettes a day, and I was just unhappy. I was just not happy. I was in chronic pain from my back pain. And I remember we're having this sales meeting, and I can hear my boss, and I just didn't like him anymore because I found some things out about him that I just couldn't respect anymore, and I just wasn't happy there. And I remember he was saying, he called me out, and he was like, "You're awfully quiet today. Why aren't you talking? Why aren't you saying anything?" And I was like, I think I forget exactly what I said, but I told him, like, I'm not happy here, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna work here anymore. And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna quit, because I was like, when I think about where I want to be in 5 years from now, this isn't it. This isn't where I want to be in 5 years from now, you know. And he just looked at me. He was like, all right, if that's how you feel, I guess. And but yeah, I remember I quit there, and started working at, I think I started working at Nissan after that. Or was it Chevy? No, it was Chevy. I worked at Chevy, and then Honda, and then Nissan. And it was at Nissan where I met the dog groomers. And so I guess I didn't know that I was going to become a dog groomer when I quit that first job that I was unhappy at. And I remember even quitting another job that I was unhappy at, a liquor store, because he would just curse me out whenever he was in a bad mood. He would just cuss me out. And I just didn't like that. And I remember I would cry sometimes because he just would cuss my ass out in the morning. And I would get so upset. But I never really knew that I would be a dog groomer. I didn't even know it was a profession. Even when I met the dog groomers and I was asking them what they did for their income, they said, we're dog groomers. I was like, what? What do you do? What do you guys do for real? Seriously. So I guess if, just me personally, I would say if you're unhappy and you're doing work that's not meaningful, not fulfilling, even if you don't know what it is that would fulfill you, even if you don't know what it is you want, if you're clear on what it is you don't want, which is the job you have now, then I think it's best to get out, right? Because you're just going to occupy your time with this job that you don't like, and that may be preventing you from finding the job that you really would fall in love with. The type of work that would be fulfilling, meaningful to you. In my Toastmasters club, there's a gentleman named Dave, and he made a speech called Crossroads, and he was talking about how there have been times in his life where it was a crossroads, where it was an important decision made that changed the trajectory of his life. And one of the first crossroads of his life was when his parents decided to move from up north down to Florida. And that was a big move for him, and he didn't want to because he was, there was uprooting his whole life and his friends. And he said that was a really big change, and it changed the whole trajectory of his life. And there's a couple other experiences that he talked about, but then one of them was when he said that he started to take an interest in spirituality, and he wanted to learn more. So he took a trip to India, and while he was in India, he had to cut the trip short because he caught some sort of virus, and he got extremely sick, and he had to be flown back to America so he could be in the hospital, and the doctors could check him out, work on him. When he was in the hospital, they found, they couldn't figure out what was wrong with him, first of all. And then once they found out what was wrong with him, they also found like an intestinal cancer, I believe it was, or a colon cancer, or some sort of cancer. And it was stage 3. And they were able to treat it. And he got treatment for it, and it's in remission. And he's saying that as of today, they're saying that there's a 95% chance, I think it was, that it would never come back. He's cancer free. But he would have never found it. And even if they did find it, it would have been much later when the cancer progressed into stage 4, which would have been too late. So he was saying that sometimes the crossroads in our lives aren't even our decision. It almost seems like fate. But had he not taken that trip to India, he would have never gotten sick. And had he never gotten sick, he would have never found out that he had stage 3 cancer. And they wouldn't have been able to get to it in time. And he wouldn't be alive now, cancer-free. So he was saying that every single one of us, each of us, at some point in our lives, are going to come to a crossroads where we have to make a decision. And sometimes the decision is even out of our hands. But something happens where, from that moment on, it changes the trajectory of our lives. It happened with me getting my first DUI. I was supposed to be on a bus to go to the Navy. I already passed the ASVAB. I took the ASVAB and everything. Anyways, totally changed the trajectory of my life. I wouldn't be a dog groomer. I wouldn't have never met my wife and had my kids. So but I really liked his message though. Here's what he said. He said, each one of us each one of us will be presented with a difficult decision in our lives where we're at a crossroads and we have to make a difficult decision that's going to change the trajectory of our lives. But don't worry. He was saying that no matter which decision you make, or no matter how which decision is made for you or how your life goes, he's saying these are all the experiences that make us who we are today. And it's all okay. He was saying, like, don't worry about making the wrong decision or anything like that. Take the pressure off and allow yourself to go with the flow, have your life experiences, because there really is no right or wrong, right? Mike Posner says the only wrong way to do a day is to believe that there's a right way to do it, right? And I think that applies with our lives as well. There is no right or wrong way to live your life. The only wrong way to live your life is to believe that there was a right way to do it. And in my opinion, life was not meant to be lived error-free. I think life was meant to have the experience, to know what it feels like to fall and scrape your knee, right? To understand the pain, so that when we see others, we can have empathy, not just sympathy, but we can truly empathize with them because we know the pain, we know what it's like, we can connect with others better, right? So anyways, I better get to sleep, especially because I do have a new client tomorrow. Probably not a good first impression to show up late, right? Be like, hey, do you know who I am? You know how many books I wrote? You know how many subscribers I got? Shoot, I show up when I want to, bruh. Why don't you have a seat, son? I was kidding. I'm not like that. Only when I'm drunk. I'm kidding. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, guys. Hopefully this was helpful. And again, I think I kept it. Yes, I kept the description the same as the previous one. So the Google Drive link is still in the description. So you can click that Google Drive link to download the quiz, McClellan's Social Motivators quiz, to find out which type of motivation is your strongest type, and also the information. I think the biggest value, the biggest takeaway for me was that information, the distinctions, the characteristics of each motivation type, and also how to keep them motivated, how to give them recognition. So hopefully that helps, especially if you have a team working under you or that you're working with. This is going to really help you understand what motivates each member of your team. Once you understand what motivates them, then you can understand how to work with them better and how to give them the recognition that they need. Awesome. See you guys. Thank you so much for your time. I honor the light in you that's also in me.